All right, thank you very much, everybody, for attending. Those who are in receipt of the ongoing email distribution and invitation for the KTF Assembly Liaison role. A little bit on a breakdown regarding that, the reason why we chose that title description. It should go without saying, but we did lead off with the title being that of an acronym. Normal, I don't want to say naming conventions, perhaps that is the proper focus, but if a word is used or a title is used, like you see here at the top left there, the Peacekeeping Task Force, followed by an abbreviated upper acronym, then that negates the need to have to keep referring to the original title, Peacekeeping Task Force, 4 words, then whatever is used as an abbreviation. Then you can continue on using that abbreviation without parentheses, and that the abbreviation does not mean anything else because of the sentence has defined it as that being the use. Okay, so just so you guys know. And then as the hyphen portion, we will until otherwise persuaded, to choose something else. That is the title for this role. And as that liaison for the PKTF for your assembly, you are within the Peacekeeping Task Force. Assembly liaisons are considered as managers or a team that is managing a service for the assembly. So just kind of look at it like that. You don't have any subordinate, leadership, any supervisors under you. You're not the same as a foreman. You're not the same as a supervisor or any of those things. And you don't have any upper management. So us as a directorate, we could talk about this too. We don't have any ownership. The states, we appeal to their necessity on an annual basis, and then we're up for review annually, and that we rely on the liaisons at each state level to advocate the services that you will be involved with intimately, on an ongoing basis. So that really helps out. It's really convenient. It's great to, in the future, whatever our, proposal is for the upcoming year, whatever the cost, based on our service and our work performance, a lot of your assembly at the state level will say, well, sure, renew. That's what we're going for. And that's, you guys, you'll need to get kind of familiar with that as your approach, your additional approach to servicing. Okay. And I hope that helps to add more dimension and more density to what, as you're continuing to learn this role. And okay. Can everybody still see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to jump right into it. Just wanted to kind of put that out there about the title and the advocacy that each of you will be providing to your General Assemblies on behalf of the Peacekeeping Task Force. Okay, so today we're not using any PowerPoints. This is a Word document. It was sent off to the Federation, the Fiduciary Office, the Military Liaison's Office, the banking, the whole thing. Okay, and even coordinators, kind of your top leading coordinators. I think Terry and Michelle also received a copy. So we're actually entering into a partition, so this is a great time to take a breather, and we'll go over the time expectation, how long for the hiatus, what can you do during that time period, and when we reconvene. Okay. But we will still keep the same as far as our touchdown locations. Free conference call won't change. It'll still be delivered by emails. The upcoming series 2, will be still bi-monthly and on the same day at the same time. Okay. Just kind of let you guys know. We may have other facilitators assisting us by the time we return, hopefully, at least one other, at least maybe 2 other, but it's doable. We have Kathy Kreidler. She's my assistant, and I don't know what I would do without an assistant like Kathy, but she helps out with all the things that I cannot do. and she's learning more and more, so that's great. All right, so what we're going to move into is the leave portion. This is not your typical administrative leave, military style. This is so no one's getting compensated for our time as we leave, and we're certainly not expecting any one of you or myself or Kathy to take off, like leave completely. So this kind of administrative leave is to take a leave, to relax, for all of the liaisons here and who receive the recordings to go over what you've already learned, or what those who haven't been able to attend have observed, the replay and the PowerPoints and the handouts, all the things they received in the email, so that the directors can go through the following as you see here. But before I do that, we'll focus on the center after I go from left, then I go to the right, and then back to center, each one of these sections. Okay. And there's only 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and a wrap up. But we're going to take 6 to 8 weeks off. So starting next week, we'll count week 1 the same time next week, and we'll reconvene after. So about a month and a half, maybe 2 months. But trust me, it's not anything like like I just described. There is no leave where everybody closes the doors and shuts the lights off. What you see in the middle here in this section is what we have to work through and tighten up, refine, continue working on. Most of these things that you see here in the middle, we have been working on all the while, but it's been incremental. Everybody who has attended the meetings knew that, or suspected that there's only a certain portion of trainings, and then we move on to a separate set of training, and then we'd have a break in the middle. So that's what we're talking about. Hopefully the rest of the breaks between each series will be shortened, but we are hoping to have, for those who are attending and considering to be the liaisons, that a month and a half should be good enough. Some may think it's more, but I don't anticipate anyone needing to come back sooner than a month and a half to these types of meetings, because we do expect to have people, you guys, sending us emails with questions, phone calls, other meetings. If you have a situation where you actually have to schedule a one-on-one meeting, you can go to our Calendly and schedule a meeting with myself, with or without Kathy, depending on her schedule. But that's always an alternative as well for meetings like that. We're going to go in. Let's go ahead and show you guys what we're talking about here quickly. We need to almost immediately begin with the finalization of the onboarding process for all of you. Okay, so that's what we'll talk more about that this evening. But that will be involving interviews. Okay. So we have to, Kathy and I and others, a couple others, have to work on that at the Federation level. We're also going to work on script writing, dealing with face-to-face, one-on-one, and returning meetings with other folks that's on your state and local level, dealing with law enforcement, investigators, union organization leaders, things like that. Okay. These are the things that PKTF is going to be working with the Federation fiduciary office and other sectors within that role. All of these things while this hiatus or this leave is taking place. Okay? You guys, you've earned, I would say, especially those who've been here, you've earned the right to take a break, okay, and just absorb what you have so far. Also, we'll be doing website updates and design updates. The mind mapping portion, there's a few projects, or 2 projects we're working on that you guys we'll share with all of you after the break. Oh, this is done twice. That's not good. Scratch that. The final newsletter development. We'll talk more about this tonight as well, and we encourage everybody who's here as liaisons and anybody who sees the recording that you may share with, go ahead and invite them to sign up for our newsletter as well. Let me go ahead and see if I can jump to that without messing anything up. Mark, am I still coming through loud and clear?
Indeed, Joe.
All right. Now I'm having a... Sorry. Just want to show everybody where the newsletter is. So if you go here on the site, I think I need to turn my camera off. That's going to help. Okay, so if you go here on the site in the front, this is the top portion, just navigate to the top left over the home button, drop down the home button, and then you'll get access to the articles and the newsletter. So tap newsletter, and then just go ahead and encourage others and yourself. We encourage, go ahead and read through what is expected with the newsletter, which has not yet launched. It has been published as a Surface newsletter, but as far as a subscription edition of that went out, we're days away, if not hours away. We're pretty excited about this. So, and you can read here. We don't need to go over it too much. And the service, also a Federation service that's providing the exclusivity through this newsletter. But we're really excited, and we hope more folks sign up for it. And we have many dozens of folks, if not more, that's waiting to receive theirs. Go ahead and go there and sign up and enjoy. Whatever that is. Yeah, we have to finish working on it. So if it takes a day or two or three, it shouldn't take more than a day or two, but that's another thing we're working on. Okay. All of the other details about, the sub-articles, updates, there's not too many that's needed there. If you guys know where that is, that's the first link that's below in the link tree, that's below the website, pktfnews.org website. One of the reasons why we use it, there's many reasons, but it's because we're able to put article content in this kind of a sub-format much more quickly. And even on the go, because it's more of expedient. It's a blog section, so it's great for that. So, but we still have a few things we'd like to add to that. It's running great, and we also utilize those for all of you to consider using at some point as well. Part of your own exposure to your Azure Liaison Office, and all of the links that you see for the Peacekeeping Task Force is part of our business card exposure. So everything has a purpose. Everything that we provide. Okay? Everything internet exposure based. Okay. Now the Regional Assembly Liaison Office development, this is something we've already started working on. And we do have a nationwide representative for everyone, Denise Traylor. She's very capable, very eager to assist all of our assemblies. And I would think that it's probably convenient for everybody to have one particular agent helping all of our assemblies' physical office space coordination. So nothing. I know Kathy's definitely researched her location, and Paul from Florida as well. But Regis is very modular. It's completely modular worldwide, actually. So it's there's nothing that one agent can't do for you without even having to go there. But it can just collaborate via email and all of those things for you. And they know every other service agent and service provider at every location. So it's just a matter of email back and forth. But if you're only needing one, I would recommend Denise. So this has an option, but we're going to continue working through what that looks like and those dynamics for each area. I would like to ask Mark on Australia. What are you familiar with that as well, Mark on Victoria?
Not at this stage, Joe. No, but I'll make myself familiar.
Yeah, Regis is okay. Yeah. I have to check with you, Mark, on that. We'll talk about that. Remind me later if you're able, if that interests you to actually have at some point in the future, or someone within your assembly being able to meet with and discuss professional, peaceful law enforcement collaboration. I don't know how turbulent your law enforcement is, but we've all heard stories and we see reports quite often that takes place across Australia. So, you want to give us any kind of detail, really quick, about what the climate is in your area? Not your weather climate, but your political climate. If you don't mind. Anything?
A lot more stable than what it was. We certainly were the most locked down country on the earth there for a period of time. Interesting, different police force officers I know personally. There's a young lad from my country district. He's a prosecutor. So, I have channels that I'll be able to work.
All right. That's great. Great news. So from wherever you are, Mark, to Victoria, that's kind of where we can be, and I am interested. I know we're more familiar with areas as far as Canada is concerned, but I would like to, if you can get that information back to me, just do your portion. Type in Regis, REGUS, as far as office, nominal office space, virtual addresses, virtual office, and just kind of learn a little bit more about that, and I can get you. We'll see what Denise says here. I'm sure they all can offer that opportunity. She's capable. She has admitted, well, and we can hold her to that. She's self-admittedly able to, handle enterprise level type service placement and office placement. So we'll see. Just check it out and let us know.
Can do.
Yep. All right. And then I do have a few meetings all next month, or a good portion of next month, especially the last portion of next month, and then some next week, beginning next week already. So, which is, already jumping into that as far as what I need to do else, as part of the PKTF liaison role. For instance, I'll be on the California General Assembly meeting this Wednesday, which is an open call, so if you guys want to jump on there, you can get the link. Go ahead and join there. I don't know when my segment is, but I'll ask, and I'm sure it'll be after their roll call and minutes and whatnot. So I don't know. I don't know how long I'll be there, but I will be there. So that's just one of several meetings next month. That's still part of this month, but I have another follow-up meeting as well with California, and so that's what we're lining up for. And so there's that. Let me see here. Service policy. I'm going to show you guys this. I don't mean to continue referring to everybody as guys and gals, but the service policies and procedures manual. Did anybody see? Make sure I'm on the right one here.
Yeah, I saw it, Joe.
Yeah, that's a huge deal, because as everybody here again grows more comfortable in their position, they're going to want to get their hands on this. So, okay, and this is a massive undertaking as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so again, I don't need to be overly apologetic, and if you guys were shocked to say, oh, we're going to take a month and a half off, almost 2, well, these are a lot of the reasons why. So, yeah, we'll be working on this. It won't be finished by June or July, but a good portion of it will be. So we'll be sharing more of that, more on the newsletter. Those who subscribe to the free newsletter can get more exclusive information on this. This is for our liaisons. Not just our liaisons, actually the military liaisons, all liaisons. at all levels, and other organization build-outs. Because the more the assemblies grow and other organizations, unincorporated organizations serving your states of state, and the federation goes more and more dormant. Probably the best example of how the federation becomes less and less of a factor is similar in a lot of ways how your state General Assembly coordinator becomes less and less needed as a service. So kind of just know that. So I think the next organization to come online is for banking. So that's an advisory team. I'm not quite sure on that, but this is what we're working on right here. Okay, one of a few things. You guys can see the screen, right? Service policy.
Yes.
Users front page. Okay, good. Right. State and federal service contact outreach campaign. I don't have a lot of particulars on that. I'll get back to you guys on that. Gotta check my notes. Okay, now I want to show you guys this, everybody as well, because this is where we're going to be transitioning. As we take a break, and everyone here sees this replay, or as you're taking notes now, we want you to be able to start finding the upcoming happy medium, the other areas as we go. Okay, so let's see if I can pull it up here. Which browser am I using here? Okay, so if you go to the link tree, again, I'll just flash that. Everybody should already have this, kind of maybe on your phones or devices somewhere. Okay, and this is what there's one of the mind maps this whole entire link is going to explode into a mind map to explain the relevancy as to why these links are used, which there's 19 of them here, and there's a few more being considered to be added. And it's not the liaisons need to use these many links, but we do encourage you to consider using them, highly encourage it, in fact, and whichever ones. You don't need to use any or all of these, okay, but certainly a few for sure. You have a commenting presence here, you have a contact presence here, you have a review and comment presence here, you have a career association presence here. I mean, I don't know anybody, not to cast not to make light of anybody's presence online at all, really, but LinkedIn is where everybody has the opportunity to provide their career skill sets and these things. I mean, LinkedIn makes Facebook look like kindergarten. Okay, just so maybe you all know that already, but so here's the opportunity for your own use to set up your own one-on-one meetings for yourself, or meetings with myself, along with Kathy. I would just ask Kathy to join if she's available. You guys can schedule meetings with me there, which I mentioned earlier. Now here, this is where I want everybody to go almost right after the call, if you can. Okay, and join. Because this is where the information that would be similar to Facebook, I guess. I have a Facebook account, but I haven't been there in years, like almost 2 years, and I was already falling out of favor with it even way before that. But here is where, sort of kind of like Facebook, I don't know what that is, advertisement, but there's very, very little advertisement, and if there was anything that would resemble Facebook, I guess, would be MeWe, but hardly any advertisement whatsoever. And it's really built towards groups, groups that are working on things. And you can still, there's an entire worldwide community. That's why they call it Me. So yeah, just go check us out here, and we'll schedule meetings and share information and all that good stuff here.
Joe?
Calendars here as well. So it's really great.
Joe?
Yes.
Joe in Wisconsin here. I had taken the time to set up a MeWe account. Did you just get this live recently? Did this just come up live, like with your account? Because I don't remember when I set mine up. I couldn't find any connection to you.
You should.
Okay, I'll try again. Another question.
Yeah, everybody else can try too if you have time to be able to do that.
Another question. I get emails that they're from follow.it. Are you familiar with where those are coming from?
Of course, yeah. That's hold on. Follow.it is like feed burner. Right here, you see on the screen.
Yep.
If everybody manages their subscriptions or their news feeds, feed burner was one, or feeds, RSS feeds, anything. A lot of people, they go the extra mile to just condense their news and information flow. And so follow.it is probably the most modern version of feed burner, or any services that help streamline your what litters your inbox. So yeah, so if an article goes up here and you're subscribing, so you basically put your email here, and then you push subscribe, then these sub articles through this link to this blog spot will go to your follow it.
Yeah, I've been receiving those, and they've been nice to be able to keep in touch and follow along. So that's a nice feature.
Yeah. Great.
With that page, with the Linktree page, I've set that up as well. What logo do we use on top?
Just yourself, or it doesn't. Just kind of make it somewhat presentable, as Of course, most pictures are presentable. Most level-headed people use, but nothing crazy or animated. Nothing that's overly relaxing. Yourself or not yourself. Your assembly logo, or if you have extra logos, your state seal. If you want to use that, that's fine. Anything like that. Yourself sitting on the couch drinking coffee, or the back.
It's been kind of been a big discussion with what logos to use where and when recently. So, as PKTF, as we're building this, do we have official PKTF logo from the Federation, or is that state to state?
That's like that's your own banner. As a professional, most people answer this. We'll be in a setting where a suit and tie, button up, blazer and skirts for the women, or slacks for the women, but suit and tie is the attire. Paul suggests some of the great things as far as that. So on your business card, or even on your LinkedIn profile, it's probably the best way to approach that. Or any identification. It's statistically anything that has anything to do with a professional appearance. It's going to be a man or woman who's wearing a tie, a shirt and tie, So that's kind of where I would go with that. So you don't even have to use a logo, or just yourself and probably your Sunday best, I would say. A headshot or something like that. So don't overly concern too much about that. Okay. Good question, though. So yeah, just join us on MeWe, and we'll go from there. And in between this next month and a half or so, if you guys want to start breaking bread there and unpacking and kind of look around MeWe if you're not familiar with it. Go ahead and kind of enjoy yourself. And if you use Facebook, you might say, I don't even want to use Facebook anymore. Those are the reviews I've heard, and I've set up an account for us in anticipation of finding a medium similar to what one of the more popular social networkings are, in anticipation of having current and future liaisons find a place to meet and share information. Yeah. They still actually have a worldwide social network. You can look elsewhere on MeWe and go into other communities. You can even entertain an outreach approach through MeWe if you so choose. But the only ones that we want there are on our MeWe site is our liaisons for it. So there won't be anybody, at least not for now. It's not necessary to have any other. Okay. All right, and I didn't mean to belabor that too much. Everybody's seeing this for the first time anyway as a closeout meeting. So any questions on the top administrative lead portion before we move on? Okay, so no questions. All right, great.
Thank you.
Okay, so with the lead portion and everybody knowing what that is, see the right margin is when we will reconvene, or the time lapse between now and then. And then the reconvening dates you'll see here. Okay, so it's still bi-monthly. The next series will still be 7 weeks, 7 iterations. And we'll, from that point, along with questions that are asked via email or one-on-one meetings, now on the MeWe section, things discussed there in your spare time or during your, within your own convenience, and discussions that you're having with your own General Assembly. All these things we'll be bringing these things back in mid-July, okay, and other things as well. But we will start touching on what was presented to everybody, which is accessible on the UGE platform about the PowerPoint presentation now. So we will start talking about scenarios. We have some templated scenarios that we can offer assemblies who are not dealing with any portion of what the assembly liaison is expected to provide. If you have an inclination of what may be, you can offer that as a potential scenario, but we will start working on scenarios, or what they're called storyboards. And if you have any real-time experience, if anybody has talked with the State Bureau of Investigations, even on the phone, it's a really great opportunity. But those will be the kind of interactions and familiarity conversations you'll have with folks like that. Your State Attorney General, you'll get to know them pretty well. I think I would have to say, because of their underwriting responsibilities, and they will, I'm sure they're on the top of speed dials for your state traffic department, safety traffic department, and National Sheriff's Association, however many sheriffs is part of that, the NSA through there. I'm sure your State Attorney General has that to add to your interface development. So all these things we'll be talking about in a scenario form. You'll become much more familiar with that, much more comfortable. We'll also be moving into teams. If any assemblies here have more than one potential liaison that you'll be working together with on a daily basis, that's great. We'll talk about that. I know, let me pause for a moment. Do we have Paul, you still here from Florida?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, are you still working on a team that I noticed you're here consistently, but you had one or two others you were working on, working with?
Oh yes. Matter of fact, Chris Dorio just called in and said that he couldn't get on for some reason. And I told him, so well, I got to pay attention to what we're doing right now, because it's like almost 8 o'clock. So Florida is, setting themselves poised towards utilizing more than one. So they're poised. They're available to do that. They're positioning themselves. They're talking, or they're meeting here at the same time or offline. All of those things. So we don't want anybody here to think that they'll have to shoulder all of these learning and take on these learning curves themselves or anything like that by yourself. But if you do have folks that are within your assembly that manages committee meeting reports or
you see how your assembly works. They provide reports. It will be much more convenient for all of you as liaisons to take on at least one more. So solicit the opportunity, learn as much as you can, and provide it however you can most comfortably. Share these meetings with anybody who's interested that are not here or have not yet completed an enrollment form. And just share alike, so that maybe you can garner the extra support. One per state is certainly ideal or needed. 2 is ideal, and 3, no matter the size of your state, it's not necessary, I would say, to have more than a trio, a team of 3. Now, the state, as far as the size, like Texas, I would say. Again, the major cities in Texas are pretty well separate, and the size, capacity, and what they have to offer is pretty fair. Houston, just between Houston and Dallas, they're not too far, but they're far enough. And so if you did have another or yourself that could travel 20 minutes to Dallas and work, or near Dallas and work, or Houston the same, San Antonio, that's kind of what you're going for. If there was just one of you, that's not logistically impossible for yourself, but if you had you needed to meet with somebody who's within your state law enforcement and they had to travel 7 hours to get to you because of the size of Texas, that's something they'll have to show her, those folks, but it's doable. And the more the better. That's the liaisons are better than one, and go from there. Just so there were. Okay. And then as far as your questions that you have that you share via email and also through MeWe, you share those. This helps to provide more expediency to us as liaisons and as the directors, knowing of those questions, answering them, you all discussing those in a platform that's open to all of you. It just really helps to make the return training series much more comfortable, so it's not obscure. And again, 6 weeks or even 8 weeks is quite a distance from here, but we've learned a lot, I would say, and the folks who have come here and those who provide us emails, I think you all are pretty well on the spot. Assembly outreach while you're in between. This is kind of what we're hoping that between, again, what you know now, the information that you have via recording, now the open forum on MeWe to be able to share exclusive questions with each other, and then just the questions that your assembly has for you. We want to try to foster that outreach on your assemblies. Okay, what does that mean exactly, or just where you will be in the future, now or in the future? Just become familiar with it. The General Assembly is your platform. The Assembly Militia is your workstation, your observation station. And then here's your committee or subcommittee within your General Assembly. It's through your oversight committee. Oh, that's not on there. That's not good. Hold on. So it's a combination of both, but the oversight committee is your standing committee. And then as far as your outreach, this is what the bridge building and interface dynamic is where you're at. So the combination, so you'll notice there's nothing mentioned about International Business Assembly or General Assembly. So you have familiar territory here and where you set up shop as it is, as it pertains to what you'll see in the procedures manual and your desk procedures manual as well. That's another thing we have to work on. Just kind of get familiar with that. I don't know how you, and if also, this reminds me,
if anybody has any GA meetings that they have as replays, if you would like to share them, either with us or with each other, and if that's something you guys want to put on, if it's non-business specific, part of your website agenda, proof of meetings anyway, go ahead and share them on the MeWe platform somewhere. Look around and get familiar with that. Or if you want to send it exclusively to Kathy or myself, and we can kind of, I don't know how, but if you have an opportunity and you have those replays, go ahead and send them, share them, so we can kind of see what your GA, what your people are discussing in anticipation of this role. Now, interviews, this is something Kathy and I both have to work on, as well as the same is offered to all of you. Not all of you in particular, this is not part of your job description per se, but if anybody who's available now or in the future who can assist with providing that opportunity to have a 30-minute interview with future liaisons, even from other states, and would like to assist with that within the liaison office, this is where that managerial aspect assists and staff. The two are a little bit in relation to one another. Okay. So it just kind of helps you to stretch your legs a little bit too while you're still setting up. You can assist PKTF directly from its own liaison office. So what it means is you would be there to be on the panel, and if you've been around 4 or 5 or 6 months by then, and you have folks coming from a brand new assembly, you can they'll be sharing the same material as all of you here from the beginning. But when it comes time to the interview, if in the place of Kathy or myself or Nicole or a future who else we have as associate director, then maybe you guys can help with that. It also helps to take on other, just the meeting practice as it is in a setting where you'd be meeting.
This is Paul in Florida. If we can volunteer for that, I'd certainly volunteer to help there.
Okay. Yeah, we're a little bit, again, so these points that I'm showing, this is something that will be taking place and be taking more shape during our leave period. Okay. So yeah, just know that that's what's taking shape. And I guess I can't emphasize this enough. Just recall from now moving forward, when we do have these breaks, and yes, 7 weeks, even though they're bi-monthly, 2 weeks apart, they fly by. I mean, since the beginning of our training iteration series 1, it seems like it went by so fast. But that's not the same experience for everybody else. And nor is taking a 6 to 8, which is 2 months off. Some of you here may be bewildered in some of the silence. So that's why these meetings announce the partition and the time period, so that everyone here in their own way can relax and digest what they've already learned, all of the opportunities that you're hearing about now, other places that we can go and meet digitally, and all the other build-out portions. This is kind of where we're at this moment. And expect the same periodic leave after the second series training, 7 separate meetings. Okay? All right, any questions with that before I move to the last portion, which is just a little page here? Any questions with any of that at all?
Joe, I had posted a question, Joe, in Wisconsin.
Okay.
How do we find you on the MeWe site so we can connect?
Okay, let's look at that again.
I tried to search your name, and I there's 3 random Joseph Hayeses that come up, and they don't seem to be you.
With that same spelling, Hayse?
Hayse. Oh, maybe I had ES. Okay. All right.
Well, we'll take a break here. Go ahead, everybody, if you can. We're almost right into a raw Q&A time period anyway. So if anybody has a separate screen, or if you want to drop this screen and meander over there to MeWe.com.
There you are.
see how it populates. Oh,
You just got a new follow.
Joe Hess?
Yes.
All right. Let's see it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, now Joe has a cute, friendly icon. It's great, you know.
I'll work on that.
Yeah, if you just want to beef it up, put your face in there, or state logo if you have extra that your state's not concerned about using your. You can use PKTF, not the vector file, of course. I know a lot of people want to have that, but for something, you know, yourself sitting in a chair, and the sunset in the background, you know, just not overly recreational, like somebody dousing you and they catch somebody caught a picture and somebody dumped water over your head, you know, or you just got in a paint gun fight or something, you know. Just, you know, I don't have to convince anybody that, because this is going to be a professional setting. It's going to be just like, or very similar to the LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is overly exposed to intense professional. That's the idea, the intent behind that. Where this is more, you know, like Facebook, I guess, but it's very clean. You'll notice your left and right margins are just clean, and they'll remain that way. As far as I've researched, a lot of people favor this particular platform because of that, and it has more features than I recall Facebook having. It's got a calendar section. It's really great.
Picture's updated, Joe.
Oh, okay. Let's see. There we go.
Yeah, just the flag icon to start. I'll work on that. I'll put a picture of myself.
There you go. Yep.
Thank you.
I
yield.
Anybody else? Anything at all? Does anybody have anything to share from what their last meeting, their last GA meeting or Assembly Militia meeting that you may have attended?
Joe, I'm going to post in the chat the link tree that I've been creating here in Wisconsin. So if anybody wants to kind of look at that for a start.
Go ahead. Yeah, let's do that.
There's only a couple of basic links in there right now. When I was asking about the logo, it'd be nice to have kind of an official PKTF logo on top of our link tree for Wisconsin, and I was just wondering if the Federation could provide, something that we can use for these types of things where we can all have something that's uniform and common across, and then it maybe just denotes the state. I yield.
Sure, yeah. Like I say, our meeting space will now be, MeWe. MeWe seems to work out great. And again, I'll illustrate and quantify in a very professional mind map, enumerating and quantifying each one of the icons I've used in the link tree I use, and why they're even positioned the way they are. I mean, so that helps you with kind of encouraging everybody to continue using these. So yeah, this is a great start. And if anybody has shares like this, or if anybody has any questions,
Yeah, Joe, this is Marvin Robertson, Texas.
Okay.
I just had a question. I have a gentleman who's in the Air National Guard, and I didn't know how to explain to him about the banking situation. He was concerned about his pension. I know this question is kind of off subject, but I really needed to know, and I know you know a little bit more about it than I do. And he was concerned about his pension, and he wanted to know how the dollar going away would affect his pension. And I yield.
Well, if any questions at all that service members, prior service members, or veterans have, that's another service that the PKTF offers directly, and that comes from the liaison office within the PKTF. This is also great question, and have a thorough answer for you. Although it's a service that's right around the corner that we're offering all assemblies, so that's another thing we'll be working on during this hiatus. Okay, but that's a service that we're asking each assembly to get behind. You know, we have a proposal built for that. Very, very approachable service and very well needed. You're going to have, especially you have more folks coming that are coming out of those organizations seeking questions and a nice safe place to land while they consider correcting their status. But we'll take those in the future. We'll take those questions from those type of professionals and those people away from your assembly as an exclusive opportunity to meet one-on-one with PKTF, dealing with those particular types of service careers.
Right. What about his, like if the money goes away, let's say that USD goes completely away, he was concerned, and I didn't really know how to answer him. What will his money be? Will he still get his pension?
Right. So questions like that, let's just put it this way. Questions like that your assembly is not able to answer. And it's not that we want to give these service members any other special treatment, but that is a question that anybody could ask, but it just happens to be a service member. National Guard component, so that's a Guard component. That's a state component. That's something that your assembly militia leader might answer, might be able to answer.
We don't have that yet.
Right, and we're aware of that as well. So in whatever developmental capacity your assemblies are in, at any time, even if you do have an assembly militia coordinator or chair, nevertheless, we can take those off. We can take that immediate burden off of all assemblies' hands, and then answer them one-on-one with that same someone from your assembly. And then record that meeting and provide that as a back data to your assembly militia so that they in the future can answer those questions, whether your assembly militia command has any prior service questions or not. I can answer them by myself, but I cannot attend your meetings, and I can't answer your question thoroughly enough to have you feel comfortable that you can answer it, or anyone else hearing that question being answered. You see?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I do.
The synergy behind it needs to be a certain way in order to maximize its potential.
If you don't mind, if I could have the gentleman from Wisconsin, I kind of like what he's doing, and I was wondering if I could have him. Maybe we can get together and he can work me through what he's got, and I could do the same thing. That way, because I'm grasping it, but I don't think I'm grasping it as quick as I could. And I yield. Thank you.
Which one is it?
A gentleman from Wisconsin.
It wasn't clear what you were asking, what you needed.
Oh, I was just asking if I could have him contact me so that I could maybe he can share some ideas with me here on Texas on what he's set up on his page and stuff. Maybe, so we could talk to different liaisons from state to state,
Sure. Okay. Yeah, if you guys do that, you can go through the chat window and share your information, contact information.
Okay.
Or meet us over on the MeWe platform.
Oh, okay. I see the chat now. I didn't see the chat earlier. Thanks, Joe. I apologize for taking up so much of your time. Thanks.
No, you're fine.
Marvin, Joe on Wisconsin. Reach out anytime. togojoe@gmail.com. Or start there.
Thank you. Let me see if I can pull up this PDF that I had. There it is. Bear with me, folks. Nope. received it in the email. I use two browsers. I don't like using Brave, but it's okay. I think this is it. Maybe.
Joe on Wisconsin, while you're looking for it there?
Yes, here it is. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to share some of the stuff in Wisconsin here. Me and the other liaison are working on, we've put together a militia committee, and our number one goal is to find and elect or appoint a militia committee or a militia leader here in Wisconsin. So that's something that we're actively trying to search out and implement here.
Great. Yeah. Well, yeah, and you'll garner more interest and support, especially when your pillar that provides that exposure to your entire state knows that there's there's someone to help bridge that gap and is growing more familiar with it with each passing week or meeting, I should say, along with the other research. And now we're building out for having an exclusive social meeting space. So more and more, that's adding to your reports. No matter how sparse you may think they are quite significant. I would imagine to everyone else on your meetings, during your General Assembly meetings. So yeah, good. Let us know how that goes. All right. So what I'm sharing here, really quick, is the beginning of the mind map of the link tree pattern that I have. Okay. It's going to be really thorough and impressive, just like it should be, because I'm attempting to try to convince everyone here you need this. Okay, and it's linked to our business card, my back portion. There will be. So there'll be more detail. There'll be floating branches that goes out more. It'll be in more interactive. This is a zoomed-in version that shows each one of the meticulously chosen and placed link tree patterns. Okay, so it's maybe a little more than some are used to, but I can tell you that this software design, I would have loved to have thought of it myself, because it's very, very useful and practical. So there's more build outs, and I still have more to put in my tree here, but you'll see, and you'll also see, this is a shared version from the mobile app portion that I have. But I'll be able to justify and express each use of each one of these. Okay. I'm still impressed, and I'm just at a loss of words sometimes to see some of these technologies, as simple as they are and as useful as they have shown to be. So yeah, definitely use this as you grow your own exposure and the different versions and how you maximize each one of these to your advantage. It definitely adds, because these investigators and these law enforcement officers, all of their attorneys, their labor union leaders, officers themselves, everybody everywhere is going to want to know you, and through you, your assembly. Okay, and there is a distinction, a differentiation between you and your assembly in this role. So by no means feel overwhelmed or vulnerable or any kind of anything that you may think to be inadequate meeting with these types of investigators, officers, chiefs, marshals. I'm talking about at the federal level and state level, because you speak the same language that they are hired to and are paid to accomplish, and that's investigate, corroborate, substantiate, and report, and uphold peace. Whether their version of it is more political than yours is, never mind any other differences or dissimilarities between the two of you. Just know that you will be welcomed as a comforting, fresh breath of air. Okay, I don't know how else to kind of romanticize that, but that's your opportunity. So definitely build your exposure out, to where it's useful for you and it makes sense for you and others. Okay, kind of what I'm getting at. All right. Now here's the last portion. Just now that I've captured on the call a partition meeting, moving into a break. The next break may not be for the remainder of 2024, 6 to 8 weeks long. Okay, and we may only need 4 weeks. We may only need 5 weeks. Maybe only need. But usually, taking a break, an extended break of service is not too uncommon. So just expect that and welcome it, and then try to do what you need to do in between each meeting, break or meeting partition. Take your leave as you see fit, and in the future, taking leave such as that with pay or compensation is just that much more enticing for this role. Okay. So here's the only other additions. We'll also keep. Anybody who's been seeing our micro meetings that we conduct most every week, notice a little bit that our layout here is, as far as these notations, is very similar. So if you want to go to the UGE, you saw it on the screen. I think it's the third icon down. If you want to see our meeting minutes there and discussions, you'll see that a lot of our layout is similar to this. It's on the same document format. But we'll keep the same. It'll cascade. We may, if there's notes that kind of fall off, we don't delete them. We'll definitely archive them and shrink them down in font size so they don't take it, so that they can be identified. If you want to use the same document and everybody wants to keep up with the same type of information, it's best to keep it all in the same file and just let it grow and grow, and just change the font size to small. And then blow it back up if you need it, or just maximize the view if you need it, like that.
Hey, Joe?
Yes.
I need to sign off. I just wanted to let you go. I'd let you know I didn't want to just drop off, but
I had you only for
the family's calling me.
Yeah, so I had you only for 1 hour, so thanks, Kathy.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll catch the rest of the meeting in the recording.
Okay.
All right, everybody feel free to email me if you have any questions or suggestions, and I'll get back to you.
Awesome. Thanks again.
All right, Joe. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right. So yeah, anything additional? This is coming from straight out of the administrative. Anything that will complement what the closeout minutes are about. Any justifications will be in the middle. Your left margin, it'll be the same. 6 weeks. We won't have a second partition coming back in or reconvening. We'll just go right into that, and you'll know because the new collaboration email will fit what we're discussing. And again, the replay. You guys should be able to put everything together. Any loose ends. But this is new to everyone, just like anything. It bears repeating certain portions of that until it becomes more commonplace, and then we won't have to continue on certain reiterations here. But yeah, so here's the additional information. If anybody would like any support where we're at now, there's always this direct link that you can use. We are working on other larger campaigns, and once we have that separate from the convenient Cash App here, this is just for small dollar buy me a coffee kind of approaches. There's nothing anybody needs to feel like they have to, but it's just really convenient, and again, pennies add up. Pennies or dollars, but it does mention about how we share. Everything is also justified. Any donations that we bring in, we're already prepared to account for those above and beyond, and that's another part of our subscribers through our newsletter has that opportunity directly. This as a consolation data point. And then if you go to the, see if I can go here already. I can go like that. Another place you can meet, we expect or encourage everybody to go is, and you may already be here, is on Telegram with the, just open this up. But with this, we want to be able to kind of minimize our Telegram, although we do like it. This is for the future worldwide communications for peacekeepers. This is what's going to be taking over, as far as the peacekeeping task force is concerned, what Mattermost provided. Okay, so we're going to have really interesting opportunities, artwork if you have it to share, very concise information share about communications, everything about peacekeeping, and no other riffraff, frivolous, status corrections, other things. Although those are important, they should also have their own venue. But if at some point, not here, but on the peacebridgenetwork.org, which is powered through Element, if you have, we're super excited about this. This is a subscription for, of course, exclusive access for all liaisons, but future sheriffs, their deputies, future marshals, their deputies, and anybody dealing with anything about peacekeeping, even current sheriffs are welcomed here as well. Not here, not Telegram, although they probably could. It's not nothing that it's closed or anything. But as far as direct communications on this platform, everything kind of loops back around in a nice, convenient manner. Here's the sub-article mentioning Element through Matrix powering this communications forum. Okay, so you can go here in the future. We're still working on the wireframing portion of that. So that's why there's not much mentioned here. But as Mattermost goes away and all of the deficiencies that it had to struggle through, this platform will not offer that opportunity, that failing opportunity again. So Element will succeed where Mattermost failed. And it will not be, like I said, anybody that's concerned about Social Security or anything about it, which is, it's a valid question. No, we got to be wrong. But if it's not about peacekeepers dealing with peacekeeping matters or law enforcement dealing with law enforcement matters, then they will not be found, or certainly disrespect or not maintaining the peace between peacekeepers. None of those things will last as a subscriber to this platform, Element platform, on the Peace Bridge Network in the future. And so just know and feel comfortable knowing that, especially as liaisons, you're welcome here exclusively. There is no subscription, any kind of nominal paid subscriptions for it. But other peacekeepers outside of your realm, I think it's $1 a month, 99 cents a month or something. It's monitored for complaints, for abuses on the platform. So it's really exciting. Again, things that Mattermost couldn't offer. And things that Mattermost did open itself up to, which is an oversaturation, kind of just missed the mark there on that. But and it's still useful. Don't get me wrong. I still like, and I'm still on Mattermost, but that ship is sailing, as they say. So we just want to take the opportunity to offer that as another opportunity. So if you wanted to talk about that here, then you can join this. Join us here on Telegram, Peace Bridge Network, and keep abreast of what else is taking place there. And that's it. That's all we got. We'll open it up the last 20 minutes for questions, or if there are no questions at the moment, we can call it an early evening. Does anybody have any questions or comments for each other besides me?
Joe in Wisconsin. Marvin, I had emailed you my contact information.
Looks like Joe in Wisconsin is trying to say, your mic's open, Joe.
Yeah, I was just saying, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, this is Marvin. Thanks.
Lighting up Joe in Wisconsin there, but I don't hear you.
All right. All right. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to stop screen sharing here.
This is Nicholas on Michigan. Joseph, I have to go ahead and review what you've provided here before I could really ask intelligent questions.
Or asking, needing the floor here for anything, so. I'll say goodbye, I'll stop recording, and then stay on for a few minutes if anybody else needs any last minute, would like to have any last minute discussion. Thanks everybody who needs to leave now. You'll get the recording and any adjustments via our email, and we'll see you in about a month and a half. Thanks everybody.